Tonight, federal government directs dissolution of anti-vandals unit of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps. Court remands man over allegations of marrying his daughter to two different men. On special assignment, correspondent takes a look at the preparedness of Kwara State against yellow fever outbreak as it bites other in 10 states. Plus, updates from the world of entertainment and sports. This is the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA ILORIN News Tonight. Good evening and welcome. I am Kehinde Omolosho. The federal government has directed the immediate dissolution of all anti-vandal units of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps. Abraham Jubrila reports that this is coming at a critical meeting summoned by the Commandant General following allegations of extortion, sabotage, and other forms of irregularities among officers and men of the Corps. The Commandant General is also engaging top management and all state commandants to review the Corps performance and policies and how to also reconstitute the units for better performance. In what seems like the last effort towards brokering peace between the federal government and ASU, the Ministry of Education is seeking the intervention of pro and vice chancellors of federal universities to ensure that students return to lecture halls. This is another move by the federal government to resolve the lingering ASU strike. And in another development, the Committee of Vice Chancellors of Nigerian Universities has set up a peace team to resolve the lingering impasse between the federal government and the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU. Former Secretary General of CVCNU, Professor Michael Faborode, and coordinator of the team, says the desire of the team is not to allow the current deadlock in the ASU strike negotiations to take hold, as the toll of the strike on all stakeholders and the nation has been colossal. The team comprises of Professor Jubril Aminu, former Vice Chancellor, University of Maiduguri, Professor Olufemi Bamiro, former Vice Chancellor, University of Ibadan, Professor Ekanem Braide, President, Academy of Science, Dr. Nkechi Nwagugu, former Vice Chancellor, University of Calabar, Professor Yakubu Uchefu, Secretary General, Committee of Vice Chancellors of Nigerian Universities, and Professor Michael Faborode, former Secretary General, CVCNU, and former Chancellor of Obafemi Awolowo University. The team is to liaise with the Professor Mimi Briggs Committee to understand the basis of the elements of their proposal and check with both the federal government and ASU to identify areas of concern and objection. A magistrate court sitting in Ilorin has remanded one Haruna Danjuma in Correctional Center over allegation of marrying out his daughter to two different men without a formal divorce. Abdulafiz Alaya has details of this and other court precedents.
Ayuba Sule from Ote approached the court with a complaint that his father-in-law gave out Awa Haruna's hand in marriage to another man, knowing that his marriage with Awa still subsists. He alleged that Haruna has forcefully relocated Awa and her new husband, Jamilu Baushe, to an unknown destination to reside. Though the accused denied ever giving his daughter in marriage to Ayuba, the court ruled that he be remanded in correctional center till his daughter appear in court to shed light on the purported marriages. In another development, an aged woman, Segilola Abdullahi, and 4 others were also arraigned before the court for extortion, theft, criminal intimidation, and threat to the life of one Afusat Babatunde. The accused were alleged to have destroyed and confiscated fresh milk, local cheese, and a total of 450,000 naira from the plaintiff for allegedly selling at a cheaper rate and without being licensed by their union to sell cheese. All the defendants pleaded not guilty to the offences and were admitted to a bail of 50,000 naira and 2 sureties each, 200,000 naira bail bond, and a written undertaking not to disturb or threaten the plaintiff again. The case has been adjourned to 22nd of this month for hearing. Abdulafiz Alaya, NTA News.
Yellow fever is a virus caused by a species of mosquito known as Aedes aegypti, with symptoms like fever, headache, jaundice, muscle pain, vomiting, and fatigue. According to the World Health Organization, a small proportion of patients who contract the virus develop severe symptoms, and approximately half of them die within 7 to 10 days. With the recent alert by the Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention in 10 states, how prepared is Kwara State against a possible outbreak? Let's find out. Let's join Olajide Bello for an update.
The Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention has announced 14 deaths in 10 states from suspected cases of yellow fever between January to July 2022. The affected states include Abia, Bayelsa, Benue, Imo, Kaduna, Kebbi, and Yobe having 1 case each, while Katsina and Taraba have 2 cases, and Zamfara is topping with a total of 3 cases. Now, the question is, what is the statistics of yellow fever cases in Kwara State, and how alert is the state against an outbreak?
It is very, very important to prevent rather than to cure, and that is where the government of the day will come into it. It is very, very essential for the government to carry out massive mosquito elimination.
Is yellow fever preventable, and how can it be treated?
Yellow fever is treated symptomatically. When they present, whatever the presentation, you try to treat the patient as the symptoms appears. But there's no cure.
The Nigerian Public Health Institute says a cumulative total of 1,179 suspected cases of yellow fever was reported in 416 local government areas between January 1st and July 31st, 2022, with male cases put at 637, making 54%, and 542 females, accounting for 46%. And it's been Olajide Bello reporting for NTA News.
Reported cases of building collapse is on the increase in Nigeria in recent times, with many lives lost and several others badly injured. Abdulwahid Bibire stumbled on a building showing signs of imminent collapse in Ilorin metropolis.
Building of structures entail so many steps, hence the need to ensure that standard is not compromised. In the course of my roving within and around Ilorin metropolis, I noticed that a lot of buildings have one form of defect or the other. These include building of structures along waterways and improper planning. I eventually stumbled on a residential building off Babokwe area in Ilorin metropolis that is on the verge of collapse.
I just feel like it's due for demolition because it's dangerous for people to stay around it or to live inside.
We appeal to government to urgently intervene. We are not seeing fear because of the small children that play around the building. Even the building beside is not safe.
I asked from a professional what could be responsible for the increasing cases of building collapse in recent times.
But one is incompetence. When you give your job to someone who doesn't study architecture, who doesn't study structural, and is not a structural engineer, is not an architect, you don't verify his certificate whether he's qualified or not. Because he knows how to do it, you give him, and because it's cheaper, you give the job to him. That can cause building collapse.
The government, he added, needs to review a lot of regulations and policies guiding building procedure.
Our government should help us to adjust the bill or contract sum. Reason is because, one, the bid they are using in 2019 is what they are still using now. The purpose of doing any job is gain.
This building is no doubt a threat to human lives. Therefore, an urgent steps needs to be taken to prevent an unforeseen danger. Abdulwahid Bibire, NTA News.
And still to come, economic implication of rise in cost of food items. Do stay tuned.
Sports Zone. This is your sports rendezvous. Happening in the world of sports. You deserve to know. You want it analyzed? Sports Zone on NTA ILORIN, both local and international. You get the breaking news and the history, analyzing with brilliant sports exponents. Live every Wednesday, 9 to 9:30 in the morning. That's the time for your wonderful moment in sport infotainment. Sports Zone. Join us. Let's set the agenda.
Welcome back. The ban on the importation of some food items through major borders within the country has affected the availability of some food supply, and of course, it's taken its toll on the economy of the country. In this report, Fumilayo Familoni examines the impact of this development on the high cost of some food items in the agricultural value chain.
In August 2019, Nigeria closed its land borders with neighboring countries like Republic of Benin, Cameroon, Chad, and Niger. While people were allowed to pass through, the movement of goods was blocked. The objective of this closure, Nigerian officials say, was to stem the smuggling of goods, particularly rice. Iyabo Oladimeji, a foodstuff seller at Ipata Market, says the increasing rate of food commodity is extremely unbearable for sellers to purchase.
Last 2 years, 5 litre was 3,000 for the king, but now it's we are selling it 7,500.
An apron is 32,000. That is how we are selling it.
I was here last week. We bought this 3 pieces of spaghetti for 1,200. Coming down today is now 1,290.
So the government has to cushion this in any way that they can.
If there is an increase of some foodstuff like rice, semovita, groundnut oil, and spaghetti, how then are citizens expected to feed with the prevailing of insecurity that is hindering farmers from going to the farm?
Somebody will go to Kebbi and buy a bag of rice at maybe 10, 15, let me say 10, 12,000. You now bring it to Ilorin, for instance. How much with the transportation? Maybe 15,000. You now bring it to Ilorin. Are selling that the price of the imported rice.
Putting humanity as top priority before money, according to the economic experts, would go a long way at this particular time.
Our behavior is so terrible. We are so greedy, so selfish. That's the only thing.
Stakeholders advocate the need for the adoption of mechanized farming, empowerment programs for farmers and agriculturists to aid food sufficiency and food production in the country. Fumilayo Familoni, NTA News.
And moving on to entertainment news. Nollywood actress Adesua Etomi has bagged a doctorate degree from the University of Wolverhampton. Rachel Olaitan has details of this and more from the world of entertainment.
Movie star Adesua Etomi, who is an alumna of Wolverhampton University, recently bagged an honorary degree from the same university for her laudable achievements in arts and culture. Among those who attended the ceremony were her husband Banky W and their son, Jemima Oshinde, and some family members. In another development, popular movie star Mercy Aigbe and her husband Kazim Adiosi paid a visit to the palace of the Oba of Benin. The movie star via Instagram page revealed that she received lovely gifts from Queen Ewari. Meanwhile, Nollywood actor Yinka Quadri has expressed gratitude and appreciation to God as he celebrates 63 years on earth. The Yoruba film star dedicated a special post to himself on his Instagram page as he extends his appreciation to everyone who has made every other day special to him. Rachel Olaitan, NTA News.
And now sports. Anthony Joshua says he would be ready to fight world champion Tyson Fury in December 2022. David Tuta has more from the world of sports.
The British boxer noted this while reacting to a public challenge for a Battle of Britain. Joshua had lost his title rematch in August in Saudi Arabia to Ukrainian champion Alexander Usyk. However, it looks like the 32-year-old is eager to return to the ring before the end of 2022. In football, Napoli striker Victor Osimhen is a doubt for Wednesday's Champions League clash with Liverpool in Naples. The Nigerian international trained separately from the rest of the team on Monday morning due to the muscle issue, and it poses a source of concern for Napoli, who opens their Champions League group stage games against the last season's beaten finalist. Napoli could see their star striker Osimhen miss the upcoming European clash and Saturday's Serie A fixtures against Spezia. Team Nigeria has been walked over as the ongoing 2022 ITTF African Senior Championship due to late show-up for the qualifying event for the 2023 ITTF World Team Championship. The men's team were walked over to give Cote d'Ivoire and Tunisia passage to the quarter-final stage, while the women's team were withdrawn at the last minute for not showing up. Team Nigeria's hope now lies on the men's trio to make their presence count in the doubles and singles event. David Tuta, NTA News.
Sports Update concludes our package on News Tonight. Good evening.